Hello and welcome back to Bookish Theories. Today, yet again, we do be crying breaking down Tomorrow by Together's Beautiful Strangers. We thought that the concept trailer was moving, but we hadn't seen nothing yet. We got a great title track, lots of callbacks to previous eras, and a very ambiguous ending that shows us the beautiful strangers coming together in the face of the apocalypse. But what does it all mean? If this is really the end, how does the story end exactly? Well, I have a couple of thoughts, so go grab your tissues and let's break it down. So, according to the press release, Beautiful Strangers is a track that concludes the narrative with a story of me who grows stronger thanks to you. As the beautiful strangers come together, as this you and me of the story finally unite, the us that we create shines even brighter because we are unique and peculiar. This is a story that talks about friendship, salvation, gratitude. It tells a story of boys who are still growing and still very much flawed, but despite of all of their problems, they're still dead set on moving forward into the world together and saving each other like they were saved in the past. As the title track of Together, however, this is first and foremost a celebration of togetherness and uniqueness, which honors all the peculiarities that make us who we are. Those strange little boys with wounded wings and broken horns that we met 7 years ago are now back to remind us one last time that those flaws that you hate about yourself and those scars that you want to hide are the very things that make you special. Like a shattered glass still glistens, even the broken ones can be beautiful, and they know a thing or two about that. So now, after all this time, they kept their eternal promise. They came back to kiss the scars on your back so that you don't forget how beautiful you can be. This is a fight against fear here. In this world that can be so ugly, judgmental and unmagical, embracing your uniqueness can be a challenge, but by coming together and cherishing those peculiarities, the beautiful strangers save each other by calling each other's name. Remember, in this context, calling the name means recognizing another person's true essence. It means to know them truly, deeply, on a cosmic universal level even. So calling the name implies salvation, recognition, togetherness, and the beautiful strangers do it for love. They remember for love, they come back for love, they save each other for love. No matter what people say, no matter if people laugh, now, tomorrow, and forever. But here's the thing though, why? Why is it so important to embrace your strangeness? Why does it matter, you might ask? Well, simply put, because before you know it, the story ends, sometimes very abruptly as we see in the video, so why would you want to waste your life scared and ashamed instead of living to see your true potential? You see, one major theme of the video, which is straight up mentioned in the opening, is fleeting brilliance, that is, something great, something bright, which is as exceptional as it is short-lived. Some moments, Yeonjun told us in the teaser, are too beautiful to last. They just pass us by like a light, meaning that true beauty in this world is rare, and before we know it, it disappears swallowed by the chaos and darkness that rules this world. In the video, in fact, this fleeting brilliance of youth and togetherness is in danger of disappearing, because right from the beginning a countdown in progress warns us that there is very little time left until the light dies. This is the end, literally, and like anticipated in the trailer and in many other videos for that matter, this ending is accompanied by a meteor shower that burns the sky. Remember in Eternally, for instance, when they sang about the day it rained fire? Well, we started from a vision and now we're here, sky burning, chaos spreading, and lights out, this time unfortunately for good. And yet there is more than what meets the eye, because in the video the boys are not running away from a meteor, they're running away from the police. These dudes are lawless till the end, when the sun will never change them meant it, you know, but this time they have all the more reason to run and never look back. You see, in the behind the scenes, Yeonjun described the vibe of the video as dystopian, meaning that the story is set in a world of fear, injustice, and suffering. The boys are running away from a world under constant watch, where people's every move is controlled, observed, and judged. Notice how in the video the members not only run away from the police, but they also try to escape the watchful eye of the security cameras. Like we saw back in the trailer, this is a surveillance state where people's freedoms are being repressed, where chaos is the new order, and where society ultimately failed its people. The losers turn the lovers trying to make a living, those dreamers struggling financially who rejected the devil's temptation to stay in a fantasy so they could find their place in reality, were eventually betrayed by the world. If you think about it, this is also a feeling that a lot of young people can relate to here. When you are a kid, you have all those expectations about how life is gonna turn out. You leave fantasy behind so you can give it a fair shot, but then you grow up and realize how unfair the world is, how unjust, violent and dark reality can be. In this world, the evil and apathy won. Like they say in the lyrics, they're beautiful strangers in a world where the spell is broken, where reality lacks imagination, whimsy, dreams. Even as the world is ending, you're just expected to comply, to accept it, to obey the system, while those that don't are actively hunted down and silenced. Remember how in the trailer the soldiers had odd eyes like the cat, like the devil figure of the story. As I was saying in my previous video, this can have a double meaning here. The more literal simple in-lore explanation is that the cat is actively trying to destroy them because they are the ones chosen to save the world, while the cat is an agent of chaos, a bringer of darkness. Another more metaphorical explanation, however, is that the cat embodies what's wrong in the world, all the evil, the greed, the injustice, and more in general, that force of chaos that leads to suffering and oppression. If we try to compare the events from the video to the Star Seekers and the bigger lore, I think that Beautiful Strangers fits very well within the worldview because, like in the story, the MV presents us with a double threat. One cosmic represented by the meteors, and one more worldly embodied by the police, the drones, the cameras, and the surveillance. You see, in the Star Seekers, besides the Dragon of the End, which is the cosmic bringer of doom that judges the world, another major and arguably bigger threat that we don't talk about enough is something called the Black Water. This Black Water is a magical substance that appeared when magic came to the world, and it has a lot of uses despite it being so unstable. It made life a lot easier and cheaper for people, but on the long run a lot of side effects were discovered and kept secret. Not only the Black Water caused wars and destruction due to nations' greed to have it straight up caused loss of empathy in people, and in the novel we discovered that this substance was the cause of the apocalypse in other timelines. In Beautiful Strangers, I think that you can see a similar dynamic being portrayed. The meteors might foreshadow a cosmic doom for sure, but the bigger threat is what people do to each other. It's the loss of empathy, the acceptance of darkness, which the boys are actively trying to resist. In a world that has accepted the lights are about to go out, where people are not even fighting it anymore because they're so apathetic and emotionless, the boys still hold on to their lights, and they use these lights to reconnect with each other. Similarly to the trailer, I think that a major focus of the video is to keep the promise of eternity they made once upon a time. At the beginning, the video opens with the boys running in a field and laughing together, something that immediately brings us back to happier times. This is giving the beginning of Nap of a Star, for instance, or the ending of Deja Vu, or Blue Hour even. It's their youth, the summer of their life, when things were easier and islands were magical. The lyrics here reference Blue Hour as well. As they kiss the scars on each other's backs, they draw their heaven like they did back in that video, with their start line being compared to a paradise just like in the lyrics of 0x1 Love Song. Throughout the video we also find flashbacks of fleeting brilliance that are very reminiscent of that song. We see them playing around abandoned buildings, them having fun together, which are all memories that they long to come back to. All of a sudden though, those moments of true happiness are interrupted by a countdown signaling the death of light. The end is coming and there is no exit to the end, unless there is, you create one. Now this is a huge clue here because the narrative portrayed in the video is not in order, but once you unscramble it, the story portrays exactly that. That is, them trying to escape the end, them running away one last time to escape the darkness. In present day it all starts with the boys being separated. Everybody's on edge, the world is ending, and the boys try to lay low, some more successfully than others. Taehyun, for instance, is hiding, punching the cameras not to be seen. Bangyu instead is straight up being followed. In fact, all of them are in some way, because in a world where light is about to go out, the boys still have light within them. The world didn't turn them into monsters, it failed because they saved each other back then, and now it's time to repay the favor and save the people that saved them. I think that the lights almost act as a beacon here, something that they use to locate each other. As soon as they hold them, they connect, just like we see in Taehyun's scene. At first he's alone, but as soon as he holds the light while the others are holding the light, immediately they're all together. All that is, with the exception of Subin, which as always is the one left behind. In his scene we find him alone in a crowd, but just when he's starting to get scared and the darkness is descending upon him, Yeonjun comes through in order to save him. Like we saw in the trailer, this time nobody's getting left behind, but this action of kindness also attracts the attention of the wrong people, who can see that they are the only ones left with light inside of them. This is because the boys not only have light, they are light, and in this world embracing darkness, this is a source of danger, hence why they're getting chased. As the Sun on Fire suggests here, in this world the dreams begin to crumble, the light grows faint, and nothing imagined lasts. This is the empty reality that they are up against, the one where the spell is broken. It's a world without dreams, imagination, empathy, warmth, light, and in a world such as this, unity is a legitimate form of resistance. In the behind the scenes, in fact, Kai described the dance scene as having a resistance concept. As the five dance together, the cult people from before now shine bright in the darkness, almost as if to say that music is able to spread light in a world of darkness. Back to the story though, I personally would place the police chase right after Yeonjun saves Subin. On one side we have Kai, Bamgyu and Taehyun waiting for them in one car, as the lights in their chests grow brighter by being together. On the other though, we have Yeonjun and Subin rushing in traffic and trying to escape the police to get to the others. In a moment of crisis they share the look, the same one they shared before the the Thelma and Louise off a cliff backing loser lover, and ready as ever to die together, they crash into another car, which may or may not be the one occupied by the other members. The reason why I'm placing the crash at this point is because when we finally see them together, Yeonjun is injured and Subin has a giant scar on his arm. They also shine lights on each other, and in this context a light is a symbol of salvation, which might suggest that they crashed and are now saving each other with their light. This whole ensemble though is interesting in and of itself, because I think that each member is kind of representing a different aspect of their concept here. Subin for one has a colorful scar on his body, which to me is a reference to the lyrics that say that scars, just like tattoos, are a proof of our love, so it represents yes the pain they suffered, but also the love that healed it. Yeonjun instead is wounded, which might represent their fight against the dark as well as their determination to resist. Taeyeon instead is associated to the deer, which is an animal with very interesting symbolism. In the West, for instance, deers are often associated to innocence and purity, and if that's the case here, then it can possibly be a reference to the fact that they are innocent victims of this cruel world. In Korea though, the deer is not only an animal associated to heaven, but also a symbol of harmony, longevity, rebirth, so lots of connections here. The link to paradise and harmony reference their togetherness and unity, which connects them to the heaven of their childhood. The longevity and rebirth aspect to it instead hints at a new life about to begin, stemming from the promise of eternity they made a long time ago. Last but not least, we have Hyunin Kai and Beomgyu, respectively dressed as an angel and a devil. I think that these two represent the core of their dynamic, but also the eternal fight between light and darkness, good and evil, which takes place both outside and inside of them. Back in Angel or Devil, for instance, they explain that these two sides coexist in them and are often at odds with each other. The angel and the devil, however, also bring us back to the beginning of the story, that is, to the boy with horns and the boy with wings. I feel that a lot of people often tend to associate this original story just with Yeonjun and Hyunin Kai because their characters have antlers and bird wings, and yet on a deeper level, all of them are both actually. All of them are the boy with horns and all of them are the boy with wings, because depending on the situation, they've all been angels or devils at some point. The story of the boy with horns getting mocked for turning into a monster is at its core the story of a boy who doesn't fit in and gets shunned because he's different. It's the story of a person victim of a society that is judgmental and unforgiving, a society that isolates people that are different and then gets surprised when they turn bad. The arrival of the boy with wings saves him from turning into a monster because it shows him an alternative basically. It shows him that there is no need to feel bad about the things that make you different, because the very things that make others mock you are the same ones that make you special and unique. Once you look at this story from this perspective, all of them are the main character, because at some point they've all been the boy battling his own demons and they've all been the angels saving each other from themselves. When we see them together in the video, we see that these angels have had their wings ripped off by the world, something that we've already seen back in 0 by 1 Love Song, and yet the light inside of them still shines. It shines because they mend each other's scars with love, they heal each other by being together, and the closer they get, the brighter they shine. Now more than ever this is essential because the lights are about to go out, and Beomgyu shows us this by embodying the role of the devil, gleefully switching off the light as it comes crashing down. Now let me be clear, Beomgyu is not the one ending the world here, he's merely an embodiment of what is happening. He's showing us that the devil's side of the world, that is, the darkness, the chaos, the evil, whatever you wanna call it, is the one to blame for this ending. In the same sequence we also have a scene where Kai gets surrounded by people wearing fox masks, and let me tell you, this part really threw me off, I'm gonna be honest. In the past the fox were a symbol of friendship. Remember the cute fennec fox Tomorrow, for instance, which the little princess remembered after a long time. Like in the past the fox was a friendly figure, it was a symbol of Moa even, somebody they could trust, but here these people seem quite menacing actually. They seem to chase them off in the corridor, they close in on Kai, the most innocent of the group, so if I'm being honest, I'm not really sure what this could mean. Since this is the end of the world, my personal interpretation is that these figures might represent not friends, but rather fake friends, trying to separate them once more. The mask usually represents deceit, right? So if the fox is a friend and these people are wearing a fox mask, they could be yet another trick of the devil to try and separate them. I have no idea if this is what they were going for, and I guess we'll never know now, but yeah, this is my personal take on it. Whether this is the case or not though, by the end the boys still stick together, but at this point the countdown is ending. Light is about to die and the world is about to end, and this is where we get to the final climax of the video, which is the scene of them holding hands in a circle. Now for me this is them leaving, saving themselves from doom. As the track told us, the end has no exit unless you create one, and I think that they're creating it by honoring their promise of eternity and making one last spell in a world where the spell has been broken. The very last frame frame that we see is of them running away together, and then we cut to black, with their laughter still filling the void. The world has ended, the light has died, but their laughter still lives on, because after so many failed attempts, they successfully were able to run away, to fly away into their world of fantasy. These fallen angels, the devils that the world has condemned for being different and that could not get into heaven before, are now running away into an heaven of their own, the one accessible thanks to the angels that saved them, which is each other. By saving each other, the boys saved themselves. They regained their wings, and now they're forever playing in their magic island, which is their paradise, their sanctuary, the magical place where it was fun to play monsters before the world became so hell-bent into turning them into one. This ending that looks so similar to a death is a moment of passage, a journey to eternity, which, if you think about it, is also very similar to the ending of The Little Prince. When it's time for the little prince to leave Earth and go back home, he doesn't want the aviator to see him leave because it will look like he's dying. To reach his asteroid, he has to leave his body behind, so it does look like a death, but it's nothing more than a journey. In the same way, this ending looks like a death, but it's them just returning home. It's the angels going back to heaven, the little princess going back to their rose, the little boys returning to their magic island. Here's the thing, the ending of this story signals a passage between youth and adulthood. Those fleeting moments of brilliance are both temporary and eternal, but the only way to make them eternal is to remember them. In the future we'll meet TXT 2.0, a new version of Tomorrow by Together that is more grown, more mature, different for sure, but their story of youth is eternal. It will live forever in the stars and in people's memory, because just like the little princess laugh makes the whole sky laugh, their laughter fills the void even if the light goes out. Now, to know what TXT Book 2 is going to be about, for now we'll have to wait and see, but in the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please think about liking and subscribing. If you want to support me, now I have a new channel for you to check out, and merch linked in the description down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.